The power of storytelling and self-made success in a world dominated by Hollywood dynasties and traditional pathways to fame. Tyler Perry broke the mold. He didn't just chase success, he built it from the ground up. From being homeless on the streets of Atlanta to becoming a billionaire media mogul, Perry has proven that with vision, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in the power of storytelling, anything is possible. He is a playwright, filmmaker, actor, director, producer, and studio owner whose influence stretches from Broadway to Netflix to the White House. But behind the success is a journey marked by hardship, resilience, and purpose. This is the story of Tyler Perry, one of the most inspirational and unconventional success stories of our time. Part 1. A painful beginning. Finding strength through struggle. Tyler Perry was born Emmett Perry Jr. on September 13, 1969, in New Orleans, Louisiana. From a young age, his life was marked by trauma and abuse. He endured a violent, abusive father and the emotional burden of poverty. To cope, he began writing letters to himself, journals filled with thoughts, dreams, and pain. These writings would later form the foundation of his first plays. At age 16, he legally changed his name to Tyler, distancing himself from the father who caused him so much suffering. Despite dropping out of high school, Perry earned his GED and began working odd jobs. Inspired by an episode of The Oprah Winfrey Show about the healing power of writing, Perry turned his pain into creativity. He wrote his first stage play, I Know I've Been Changed, in his early 20s, but it flopped. For years, Perry poured his savings into his plays, living out of his car, homeless, and often hopeless. But he refused to give up. That persistence would eventually pay off, and when it did, it changed his life forever. Part 2. Madea, stage success, and a new kind of audience. In 1998, after many failed attempts, I Know I've Been Changed finally found an audience in Atlanta. Word of mouth spread, and soon Tyler Perry had a hit. He tapped into an underserved demographic, working-class Black Americans, who saw their lives' struggles and faith reflected on stage. His characters, infused with humor, heart, and soul, struck a deep chord. At the center of it all was Madea, a tough, loud, no-nonsense grandmother played by Perry himself. She became a cultural phenomenon. Madea was more than just comic relief. She was a symbol of resilience, wisdom, and the matriarchal strength found in many Black families. Perry toured the country with his stage plays, selling out venues and building a loyal fan base without any help from mainstream media. This grassroots approach proved there was a massive, untapped market for stories that reflected Black experiences authentically and unapologetically. Part 3. Breaking into film and creating his own Hollywood. After conquering the stage, Perry set his sights on film. In 2005, he released his first movie, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Critics were dismissive, but the film was a box office hit, earning over $50 million on a modest budget. Suddenly, Hollywood had to pay attention. But Perry wasn't interested in playing by the old rules. He wrote, directed, produced, and often starred in his films, maintaining full creative control. Over the next decade, he released film after film. Madea's Family Reunion, Why Did I Get Married?, The Family That Prays, and many more. His movies were often panned by critics, but adored by audiences. They combined drama, comedy, faith, and family in a way that spoke directly to his community. Perry proved that a filmmaker could be both commercially successful and culturally significant without compromising their vision. In 2006, he launched Tyler Perry Studios, a move that allowed him to produce content on his own terms. By 2019, he opened a new 330-acre studio complex in Atlanta, the largest film production facility in the U.S. owned by an African American. Built on a former Confederate Army base, the studio was a powerful symbol of transformation and legacy. Part 4. Television, streaming, and expanding the empire. Tyler Perry didn't stop at film and theater. He took television by storm with shows like House of Pain, Meet the Browns, and The Haves and the Have-Nots. These shows ran for years on networks like TBS and OWN, often beating primetime ratings expectations. His partnership with Oprah Winfrey's OWN network helped the struggling channel find its footing, and together, They created a pipeline for content that centered Black voices and family drama. As streaming platforms exploded, Perry pivoted once again. In 2020, he signed a massive multi-year deal with Viacom-CBS, making BET Plus the exclusive home for his future projects. This move positioned Perry as not just a content creator, but a power broker in the evolving world of entertainment. He has also brought diversity behind the scenes, employing a vast network of Black writers, actors, and crew. His model of high-volume, in-house production has made him one of the most productive creators in the industry, sometimes filming entire seasons of television in just days. Part 5. Recognition, billionaire status, and giving back. In 2020, Forbes officially declared Tyler Perry a billionaire, thanks to his massive film library, real estate, studio ownership, and streaming deals. But even as his wealth grew, Perry never forgot where he came from. He's made philanthropy a cornerstone of his legacy. He's paid off grocery bills for thousands of families during the pandemic, donated millions to causes like disaster relief, and supported historically Black colleges and universities. In 2021, Perry received the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award at the Academy Awards, where he delivered a powerful speech about rejecting hate and choosing empathy. He urged people to meet in the middle, between the extremes, where healing and humanity live. It was a defining moment that showed the world just how deeply Perry's influence reaches. Part 6. Criticism and controversy. Navigating the public eye. As much as Tyler Perry is praised for his success, he's also faced his share of criticism. Over the years, some critics and filmmakers, particularly within the Black creative community, have accused his work of relying too heavily on stereotypes and melodrama. Characters like Madea, while loved by many, have been described by some as caricatures that reinforce outdated views of Black families, women, or Southern life. Perry's style, marked by high emotional drama, Christian values, and often over-the-top humor, hasn't always aligned with the preferences of Hollywood elites or certain progressive critics. Academy Award-winning director Spike Lee famously called Perry's work coonery and buffoonery, sparking a public debate about Black representation in media. Perry responded with his trademark composure, standing by his work and the people it represents. He pointed out that his audience, millions of working-class Black Americans, see themselves in his stories. To them, Madea isn't a stereotype. She's their aunt, their grandma, their church neighbor. He also challenged the idea that there's only one way to tell a Black story. While the criticism hasn't gone away, Perry has used it as fuel rather than letting it define him. He continues to write his own material, employ his own crews, and reject the gatekeeping of traditional Hollywood. To him, success isn't about critical acclaim, it's about impact, reach, and authenticity. In many ways, this tension between criticism and acclaim has only made him more determined to keep creating on his own terms. Part 7. Representation and legacy. Changing the face of Hollywood. Tyler Perry's greatest contribution may not be his characters, his films, or even his box office numbers. It's his revolutionary impact on representation. Before Perry, few African-American creators had the kind of power he holds: creative control, ownership of content, and an independent studio infrastructure. In a business where stories about Black families, faith, and everyday struggles were often sidelined, Perry created a platform where those stories thrived. A legacy larger than Hollywood. Tyler Perry's story is more than just a rags-to-riches tale. It's a blueprint for what's possible when you believe in your voice and never stop pushing forward. He didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait for Hollywood to open the door. He built his own studio, his own path, and his own seat at the table. Today, Tyler Perry stands as a filmmaker, an innovator, a philanthropist, and a cultural icon. He has proven that authenticity, faith, and hard work can break down even the highest barriers. And in doing so, he's opened the door for countless others to follow. Whether you're a fan of his movies or not, one thing is undeniable: Tyler Perry has reshaped the entertainment industry, and he did it on his own terms.